tablet out of my bag.
We have a little bit of money now. We can put it towards the company.
I'll get the timing figured out sooner or later. It's a Saturday. We're at local Vine here, Cobb Parkway. John here. Scott's around here someplace. And over the next little bit, welcome first and foremost to the SDH AM Weekend Edition as I break all the equipment. And I haven't even touched it yet. So that's the kind of day it's going to be. So John here, you there, and here's the deal. What we're going to do today is we are going to look back at yesterday's result for the U.S. men's national team. We're going to look back at what happened on your Friday. And we're going to get you ready for your Saturday. We got some sound from Mauricio Pochettino. We'll get into that. And then also, for those of you that missed it, might be toward the end of hour number one, depends on how much information and talk and discussion we have. For those of you that missed it, yesterday, we did the equivalent of the 4-minute mile. I was Roger Bannister yesterday. This is your, Google search for today. So yesterday, we hit a frontier that we'd only hit in soccer over there mode. We did it yesterday because of all the guests that we had stacked up. And on social media, I will promote the fact that you can go back and watch the entire show if you wish. And you can catch up that day, wrap week on the Monday through Friday. We actually had technology work. And we ended up catching up with in Guadalajara, Mexico. And so it was an opportunity for us to kind of catch, dude, what are you doing in Guadalajara? And so we found out what he's up to in Guadalajara. He is one of the hosts inside the Estadio de Guadalajara. And so it is now, we're just going to call it Guadala-HOF-a. That interview for you because it was on at like 11:30 yesterday morning. We cleared the 3-hour marker. So that's what happened yesterday. We had a lot of guests yesterday. And for those of you that missed it, that are in our Atlanta United footprint, it was an opportunity for us to catch up who was in Mexico. And we caught up with him before the show ended. So we've also got that. We got that interview for you as well. So that is what we're up to. So thanks once again to our friends at Local Vine Beer and Wine for hanging out with us. And already here early on a Saturday morning. Morning, Knicks. I am from my forklift shift. I am not quite a break from the forklift shift. They might put me to work depending on how much I break when we're here today. So that's the rundown today to what I'm doing. And we might show some things here. We might show some stuff because if you believe in tequila, here's what they have going on. You get your little mixer in addition to your tequila, and so those kinds of things. And so I have yet to find anybody to find out what they might want on my way out the door. So this is SDH AM Weekend Edition on a Saturday. Once again, thanks to our friends at Local Vine Beer and Wine. All right, no dilly, no dally zone. So here's what happened. For those of you that were in front of a television, I know it was no surprise that probably 99,000 gazillion of you were watching the U.S. men's national team. And as a 2-0 win, own goal helping out as well, but then you end up with a goal from Alex Freeman. And it was 2-0, and the U.S., if they were in a certain position evening, then they would win Group D. So let's take it a step at a time. Group D was what it was. You get the win 2-0. And we've got some sound here from Mauricio Pochettino discussing what was going on in the match. Focus on was, and we'll go over the sofa score numbers, and we'll let you know what's going on as everyone graded out. And after the match, Mauricio Pochettino was asked about Alex Freeman and his evolution as a professional. Was what Pochettino said after the match, once again, courtesy of our friends at FIFA. Mauricio Pochettino on Alex Freeman after the 2-0.
It's difficult to explain, no, the evolution of him. I want to give the credit to the Orlando team, club, and the Oscar Pareja and the coaching staff, because when we were talking about when we arrived here and to build our relationship with all the clubs in MLS, I think how important now is to enjoy about a player that we really only saw few clips, but to trust in the player and to give the possibility to came with us. If you don't have the support of the coaches like Oscar Pareja and the coaching staff on Orlando, and if you don't build that relationship and trust, it's difficult to after to make decision only for some clips. And how important now is how we build that relationship with all the clubs in MLS, and that is one of the example that how the people deserve the credit, and of course the player, because the player is doing a fantastic job. The evolution is massive. He's so humble guy. He's have an amazing profile. He want to learn. He always listen. He's a player that that you really enjoy being with him. Not only coaching, if not being with him, he's a lovely guy and he's an amazing player. For me, have potential to be one of the best player in his position on the world.
Mauricio Pochettino on Alex Freeman after the match. And that was just one of the topics that came up. We'll get into, like I said, we'll get into the numbers after we hear from Mauricio Pochettino. So then after that, the discussion kind of went a couple of different ways as I was sitting there taking notes on the entire, just to give you an idea of topics that went through the Mauricio Pochettino presser. And just to win a second, it's the first time since the 1930 World Cup that they had 2 wins in a row in group stage. So they asked about the tactical discussion and what it was with Ricardo Pepi being up top as a part of Christian Pulisic out of the lineup. And so here was once again Mauricio Pochettino discussing that and what he thought of Ricardo Pepi and his output in yesterday.
Always, when we analyze the opponent and like the opponent to us, we try to create some, game plan to try to be close to win. Today, with the possibility to play with 2 strikers, I think trying to pin the 3 central back and using the pocket in behind the 2 midfielder to have move the ball quick from one side to another, and this triangle with in one side Anthony, Pepi and Malik, and then another Weston, Serginho and Balo, with the possibility also to invert the position. To play from our position, but feeling free, to change, to move, to create all the dynamics and try that not to give reference to the opponent. I think that approach worked really well. We are happy. But I need to say one thing. I think that we built the victory in our attitude, in the way that I was telling to the player now. I told to the player, the first action when I start the game, did you see how Pepi and Balo go to press? And that was, when that happened, the will to go to do and to make the effort, that tried not to them, because they were good when they we were talking yesterday about in the press conference that they don't play long ball. They play passes, long passes. And I think we force them to play long. And because in the way that the players are so good, I think in the way that we work, putting pressure with, starting with our two strikers, in behind Weston, Serginho, Malik, Taylor, Anthony, I think was a very good job and make easy to our defensive line, to control and after to have the capacity to play.
And this is one of the things that we have seen from Mauricio Pochettino. For those of you that might have missed it in the 9 gazillion hours of programming that Fox, that Big FOX has put together, was an encouragement of Mauricio Pochettino to go movie Miracle from the U.S. men's national team perspective with USA Hockey back in 1980 when they won the gold medal. And so Mauricio Pochettino did not know about this movie, did not know, when you're a soccer individual, you may not necessarily follow ice hockey. He was encouraged to go watch the movie Miracle. And Tom Rinaldi did a sit down with Mauricio Pochettino after Mauricio Pochettino learned about Miracle, learned about the USA hockey team in Lake Placid. And notice in that context, and I'll encourage you guys to do the same thing. When you listen to Mauricio in a press conference, see how many similarities they are with Herb Brooks now. It's about what's on the front of the jersey and the back of the jersey. That has kind of come up in a couple of different times, and it's been you kind of you head to the side a little bit. You sit there and that's the same thing that we heard in Lake Placid 1980. And so what were Pochettino? He's praising the collective. When he is asked about a particular player in a press conference situation, he makes a point to sit there and give praise and then discuss other players, or he will talk about the collective. He will address slightly the player in question. Hey, so and so did great in a match. Yes, he did, but it was also A, B, C, D, E, F. He'll go down the line, as you heard at the end of that soundbite. He dropped another half a dozen players' names. So for those of us that know that context from 1980, you're kind of hearing the same things now with Mauricio Pochettino when you're talking about this particular national team and their run here in the World Cup. And the other thing is, it's yes, you're 2 matches in. Yes, you've won them both. Yes, you've won your group. And I know that a lot of folks want to sit there. They want to go to the end of the story. They want to go to the end of it all, and they want to go, okay, well, what about winning it? What about winning a World Cup? And we do get into this with the HOF when we bring that back from yesterday. But you're starting to, it's like, it's just 2 matches. We still got a third one. And now because they have won Group D, the point was made by Mike Conti this morning that there's no way that you will see the U.S. men's national team at Atlanta Stadium. I feel stadium in quotation marks. You won't see them on the East Coast until a final. Or at least you won't see them in Atlanta, the final being in New York, New Jersey. So any of the 32, 16 quarters and so on, it won't, because they won the group, they're going to be at the coast. But you're seeing and you're hearing Mauricio Pochettino discussing the collective. He's not leaving anyone out. He mentions the triangles and the passes on the left-hand side. He mentions the triangle on the right-hand side. He's dropping names of other dudes. It's not just one, it's a lot of one. And so I thought that was interesting. And if you can go back and find it, you might just do a Fox Soccer, Rinaldi, say hockey search on the machine or something. But he caught Mauricio Pochettino, and Mauricio Pochettino explained not knowing about Miracle. And now that he's seen it, you're starting to see and hear some of those similarities with Herb Brooks, where it's about what's on the front, not the name on the back, those kinds of things. And he's mentioning a lot of different players' names. So I thought that was really interesting. And I'm kind of tuned into that more now that I have been in the past. So with it happening, I mentioned the idea of patience. And you end up with the discussion, hey, the question was, have your thoughts changed having to do with expectation now? And so here was Mauricio Pochettino's response to that question. Hey, now that you've won these two, you're probably going to win the group. Have your expectations and your desires changed now in this World Cup? And here's his answer.
To keep, believing and approach every single day that we were approaching from the day one. Believing that we can win, knowing that we need to work really hard, but in the same time enjoying the time together, building our, every day our journey until to the next game. Yes, it's not changed too much my view or my dreams or my what I am seeing. No, I think it's much better when you show, good performance and win the games. I think make easier everything. But in the same time, is to keep believing and of course now before we were talking it was 1 game, 3 points. Now it's 2 games, 6 points. We need to go for the next one. And to be sure that we are going to arrive in good condition like we arrived in the last 2 games, I think we need to enjoy, we need to work hard, we need to be responsible, we need to have discipline, keep being very, tough with ourselves to push into to be better and better every day. Is not to be relaxed. That is part of the being intelligent. And I told you that for me the IQ of the player that I have in my squad, they are so high over the average. That is why I know with our help, because we are a coaching staff also that we are very, very demanding, but in the same time intelligent when and how, and I think we are going to keep in the same way that until today.
So ain't no changing, nor should you, considering what the results have been in the first 2 matches. Just keep doing what you get a 2-0 win, and now you got a couple days to rest and think about it, and then you get to dial it up for the end, and you're playing tortilla and cake, but you're going to sit there. You're probably going to, if you examine the mentality that we've seen, and you're chasing after 3 points, you want the 3 wins to go into the knockout. And so we'll see where we'll see where it goes. Getting into the number, we have all the numbers for the United States from this matchup, and then we'll go. And I know that the late night game has been on a lot of your minds, considering what happened on offense and what happened with one of the new rules. And so that seal got cracked yesterday. So it was very least with what happened, because we'd heard about this new rule, we'd heard about the implementations, and it ends up and affecting local news. So starting lineup for the United States, back 3 in the 3-5-2, 5-3-2, however you want to phrase it. 3 center backs, Freeman, Richards, and Tim Ream. Alex Freeman graded out as the highest rated player on SOFA, scored an 8. 5 in the midfield, and I'm going to put that in quotes. 5 in the midfield. Jedi, Malik Tillman, Tyler Adams, Weston, and then you had 2 strikers with Pepe Balogun up top. So then you get into the individual numbers. Let's get into Alex Freeman's stats. And we'll start as SofaScore has added running. Alex Freeman ran 10 kilometers. So 1.6. So if 8 is 5, then 10 is 20% to 6. And his top speed was a little under 20 miles an hour at one point. 9 sprint miles for Alex Freeman. Defensively, 11 defensive contributions, 2 picks, 5 clears, a recovery, 10 of 14 on his 6 of 8 on 4 of 6 in the air, and that was his day defensively. On the dribble, 91 touches, successful dribbles, fouled once. Total carrying distance is 72.6 meters. He had 10 carries and a total progression of just under 23. 59-65 at that 91%, 32 of 34 in the opposition half, and 2 for 4 on long balls on the day. And then obviously G at a .34, the one shot, expected goals on target at a .94. So that was Alex Freeman's day at an 8.3. Thank you, D. Graham. 10K, 6.2 miles. You'd think I would know this considering how many times the boss is doing the Peachtree. So you know that by now. So that's your lineup, and Alex Freeman graded out the highest. You had 5 others in the 7 at 7.5, Richards at 6.4, Jedi at a 7.2, Tim Ream and Tyler Adams at 7s. Then getting into, I'm not going to get possession because, if you've got a lead and you're once again, you're trying to press folks out of the building. It was 62-38, but I'm not really going to dwell on it. 0.08 to 0.35. Big chances, 2-0. Total shots, 10-5. And they're adding sprints. 28 fouls, 16 called on 16 called on Australia on the day, 12 for the United. 20 to 13 tackles, 16-12 free kicks, 7 yellows in the match on 28 fouls. And I got a note from someone who is chasing after a plane at SeaTac who was there. One of our Monday guests, you might know him, POD, sends me a text. And he says, "Are we going to talk about Yvan Barton?" I said, well, we certainly can talk about him on Monday because it would probably be another 3-hour show. So we're gonna save the Yvan Barton discussion where he was doing too much or doing not enough. Do or not do, there is no try. Yvan Barton was thinking at points. So it was 10-5 on shots, 2 each on target. Shots inside the 18. U.S. 8-3. Shots outside the 18. That was touches in the opposition box, 20 each. U.S. was fouled in the final third twice. Passes in the final third. The United States attempted almost 40% more passes in the final third than Australia did. 103 at 76%, 53 of 83 for Australia at 64%. Each team completed 4 crosses, 26 long balls for the U.S. compared to for Australia. We mentioned the duels. It was 54-46, but it was really interesting. It was 52 flies for Australia. U.S. did better in ground duels, 44-37. And in the air, no surprise, Australia did better at 27-15. So total tackles, U.S. was 20-13, had 20-6 in interception, 31-20 from clearances. Australia had more recoveries at 44-39, and and that was on the minus side for Australia. So goal, Cameron Burgess listed as an OG in the 11th. Alex Freeman in the 43rd. 2-0 your final, and that was for the U.S. And Ricky and Nix. I love it when you guys go back and forth. We got to go back to reality. Nix is like, no, we don't. I saw Nix directing traffic on match day at Atlanta Stadium, and he was when the match was over. Nix is one of the volunteers on site, and I saw him with his loudspeaker and bucket of quarter staff trying to encourage folks to use the stairs instead of being jammed up on the escalator. So that was my run-in with Nix. I was actually more like a pass-by because I saw it when it was match day. So they win 2-0. And and the own goal guy, I mean, shoot, as long as you've got him as a part of your offense and he doesn't do anything, you're in good shape. So very, very good, very, very cool stuff there to see everybody and to see everybody in Atlanta Stadium on match day. Very, very busy Friday for what was going on in this World Cup thing that we keep talking about. So U.S. gets the win, and then they have to wait. The other matches on the day in the World Cup, the cup that the world is chasing. Morocco scores a goal on Scotland. Scotland apparently with Steve Clark revert to who'd been the team that has a Scott McTominay that you try to take an advantage of. You're sitting one of your better offensive players. Morocco wins in Group C 1-0. So that puts Group C back in the blender. Then Brazil, and the call for Brazil in Group C was, it can't be what it was last time. And obviously, you've got to do better than the draw that you had against Morocco, and you've got to get some goals on the board. They did that in the first half. They didn't in the second. It felt like at times in Brazil's win over Haiti that it could have been a lot worse. You had 3 goals on the board, and that's all you finished with. Everything was first half. Cunha had a brace, 23 and 36, and then Vinicius Jr. scored at 45 plus 3. Nothing happened in the second half. Haiti come here to play Morocco in the midweek, and I am intrigued to see how this goes. I'm intrigued to see how this goes with Haiti in the midweek when they play the last match of their group stage, the last match of their tournament with at Atlanta Stadium. I want to see how they approach it. Second half, you look at the attack momentum, and Haiti had the advantage. Of course, you had a 3-0 lead, and Carlo Ancelotti just kind of decided for one reason or another to just not pursue it, or if he did, you got to give Haiti credit defensively just as much. And there is a concern out of that match. They've got to keep an eye on Rafinha. Rafinha lasted 40 minutes, and he asked to subbed out. Looked like a hamstring. Don't know. Obviously, you've got to monitor it, but Rafinha instantly, I got to go. And so Ryan came in to help out there. So Ryan played 50. Keep an eye on the end of group stage in Group C, because that's a hamstring. That's 4 to 6 weeks. And obviously, as the anticipated run of Brazil in this tournament thing, but we'll keep an eye on it. Neymar obviously still in treatment for his injury. But remember, Neymar he is not the story. His availability, etc. He was still back in rehabilitation. He was not a part of the match last night. So keep an eye on that one going forward. Then the late game. I know that a lot of folks are keeping an eye on the late game for various reasons. And with it being what it was an opportunity for those of us here in the footprint to Paraguay. Because if Paraguay got a result and that they got a win, then Turkey could not have any impact on the group. Paraguay gets a goal from Matias Galarza, and Matias Galarza is the 5th MLS player to score in this World Cup. So Galarza scores, and it's 1-0 at the break. And this is Galarza scores in the 2nd minute. And he launched from distance. So Paraguay gets a 1-0 they go into the half. And they go into the half a man down. Miguel Almiron gets a red card for shielding his mouth in a, you want to call it, it was a gathering of individuals. And it did not seem like it was a confrontational imagination. But because you're not supposed to do this anymore, and Miguel Almiron did this, he got the red. Goes 48 minutes, 45 plus 3. And he gets the red card. And so Paraguay has to survive. And so you have, when it comes to Atlanta United, yin and the yang. You have the Galarza goal in the second minute, then you have Miggy's red. And I know that a lot of folks talk about and the red card. So Paraguay gets the win 1-0. And that means, once again, that Turkey, any impact on group or anything. So here's how things are after yesterday, leading into today. We'll get into juice boxes here in a bit. Group A, Mexico, South Korea, Czechia, South Africa after 2 matches. Because at 6 points, they've won the group. They're into the round of 32. South Korea is at 3 points after 2 matches. And then you have Czechia and at 1 point each. Czechia is ahead on goal difference at the moment, but remember, head-to-head is your first tiebreaker. Switzerland, both at 4 points. Bosnia-Herzegovina and Qatar each with 1 point. So the 1, the 2, and the 3 and the 4 are still in play. Okay. Brazil, Morocco, each with 4 points. And then you've got to go to goal difference because the draw happened in match day 1. So Brazil knew they had to get some goals last night. I don't know if I don't think it'd be interesting in match day 3 to see what happens there, because this one will go down to goal difference if Brazil and Morocco are tied on points. Right now they are. Right now Brazil is at +3. Morocco, they're at 4 points. Scotland's at 3. Scotland, once again, very, very disappointing offensively yesterday. Haiti, once again, eliminated. They are 4 in goal difference and no points. So when you have Brazil and Scotland and Morocco and Haiti, with Morocco and Haiti, you figure that Morocco is going to want to try and get a lot of goals on the board to make up that 2 in goal difference. So we'll see what happens in the midweek. D, it goes to the U.S. 6 points +5 goal difference. They've beaten Australia and they've beaten Paraguay. So even if lost their last against Turkey, they'd had to head against Australia and Paraguay. They're fine. So USA wins the group. Australia, Paraguay is your 2-3. For match day last, right now they're in 4th, no points, -3 in goal difference if you get that far. Then coming into today, where we are. Group E, Germany and Cote d'Ivoire, they're 1 and 2. Germany well ahead on goal difference. So d'Ivoire, keep an eye on that. Once again, both at 3 points. Germany is 5 better. But remember, head-to-head first, then the goal difference. So up 5 on goal difference, right points. Ecuador and Curacao, they once again have they're on the minus side of goal difference. They don't have yet to register a point in their matches. Group F, with the win over Tunisia, the 5-1 win has put them well ahead of the rest of the group in goal difference because of the goalless draw. Right now, they're both at 1 point. No, they have 0 in goal difference. They have no difference in goal difference, which is what I was trying to say. In Group G, and Iran, Belgium. This one is in the blender. We'll know more after match day 2. 2 draws. Everybody's with 1 point. Group H, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Cabo Verde. This one could be in the blender as well. We'll know more once again after match day number 2. Group France, each with 3 points. Right now, Norway better in goal difference. Once again, remember, head-to-head is first. Then you have Senegal, no points. Senegal is better currently in goal difference. Group J, Argentina, with their win over Algeria, Austria won over Algeria, Argentina better in goal difference, but once again, after match day 2, we'll know more. Group K, Colombia is the only team that has a win with their 2-goal win. Uzbekistan 3-1. DR Congo, Portugal, Congo, keep an eye on them. Each with 1 point with the draw, DR Congo and Portugal with the 1-1 draw. England, Ghana with their wins over Panama and Croatia. Panama, obviously, with the less goal difference, technically they're third. And then if action ended as of last night, before we start kicking things off in a couple hours, your top 8 to advance would be Scotland, Paraguay, Netherlands, Belgium, Portugal, Spain, Czechia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Obviously, that'll change after match 2, but that literally is, if it ended today, before we played, then this leg. So that's the rundown there. And there is some stuff to keep an eye on, especially involving Senegal. Came out last night, and let me double check my sourcing here on it before we go into it deeply. But let me see if there is any update on it, and this is from Center Goals and S News Africa to what was going on. And it has to do with an eye on that this morning also. We'll also have the gossip, rumor, and innuendo from this and let you know what's going on there. We go out of here. Turkey, just so you know, most attempts without scoring across 2 World Cup matches in competition history, 62 shots and no goals. Team since records began in 1966 has attempted more shots across 2 World Cup matches without finding the net. And let me see, where's my Senegal news? So Paraguay actually finished with 9 after one of their players was ordered off for a minute due to time wasting. So you had 9 minutes. We're down to 9 because you had the minutes delay. But yes, Miguel Almiron, the first ever player to receive a straight red for covering their mouth in World Cup. He eliminated. That happened yesterday, obviously. Endrick makes World Cup debut for Brazil. And I'm trying to go back and find where's my Senegal information? You go there. Okay, here we go. Yesterday, and then we'll see if we have an update for today. From S News Africa, Sport News Africa. Apparently, things in the Senegalese camp, this is how it was phrased, facing an internal crisis. Multiple problems and dysfunctions are being reported within the squad. Player bonuses still have not been paid. Chosen hotel is deemed unworthy for a team at this level. And this is, like I said, this is coming from that side. We don't have any other elements yet, but we'll search it. Ordering meals from the outside due to catering insufficiency. The national team's head chef was not sent to the U.S., and Papa Chow is still without a contract and salary for several months. That's what we're looking at when it comes to the early returns yesterday out of Senegal. So we'll keep an eye on that. Also, Bourginha's mother has arrived in the United States. Thanks and hands up in the air for that happened. Very, very cool. She supports her son and will be here for the matchup. She's here for the matchup against Uruguay. So that is kind of where we are with what is up in the notes from match day. Now let's get you into the juice boxes for match day today and let you know what's up. Morning, David. All right, let's get you the juice boxes today. We'll lay it all out for you, and we'll go over the numbers. Once again, we went over the groups permeate stuff, but I love how once again our number one source refers to it as the World Championship. It's not wrong. It's just there are certain things you can say in today's matches. No, I don't want today's matches. I want the World Championship 2026, according to this one particular website. So today, you've got the 3 matches. It's 1, 4, and 8. 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. 1 o'clock, the Netherlands and Sweden. Netherlands is a -141. Sweden is a plus 80. The Ivory Coast, like I said, we'll know more about this group after today. Germany a minus 196. Your draws a plus 375, and the Cote d'Ivoire are a plus 500. Is Ecuador and Curacao. Ecuador is a minus 714, plus 825. And Curacao to win today is a plus 2,000. The Netherlands-Sweden match, once again, 1 o'clock this afternoon. And this one is in Houston. Michael Oliver is the man in the middle. Those of us that know him from time in the Premier League, Michael Oliver's in the middle for the Netherlands and Sweden. That one is at NRG, as we normal circumstances. But today it is Houston Stadium. At least it is at 1 o'clock. Then at 4 o'clock, once again, Germany, Cote d'Ivoire. This one, BMO in Toronto, so technically Toronto Stadium. And then the late night match, the Ecuador and Curacao. That one is, you know, all I'm wanting. I sit here and I hit the backward. I hit the goes directions I don't want. Ecuador and Curacao. Once again, that one's 8 o'clock tonight. And Ma Ning from the People's Republic of China is in the middle. And this one is at Arrowhead. So Curacao and Ecuador is at Arrowhead tonight. And those are the 3 matches and the boxes that are attached to all of that. Now, let's kind of get you caught up on anything and everything that I might have missed, which traditionally. And so we'll get you into all the other stuff that we might have missed. And it's also, you know, you're keeping an eye on all the players, all the movements, and how it's going to work its way out. So you get the second goal from Alex, and Matias Galarza once again goes for 25 in the first minute, man of the match. And afterwards, quoted as saying, "It's the most beautiful stage in the world, playing amongst the best. I'm so proud. I hope that Paraguay is happy." And so with the new VAR protocols, then they were, then they weren't. Down a man for more than 45 minutes, Paraguay leans on keeper Orlando Gil. Turkey had the ball for 72% of the opener against Australia, 78% against Paraguay, finishing group stage 62 shots, no goals, 180 minutes. Turkey eliminated after just 2 matches, ending the country's first World Cup appearance since 2002, well short of the run that gave them the 3rd place finish in that year. Americans take Group D. Paraguay lives to fight for second against Australia. Is on the 25th in Clara. Fantastic branding still that Levi did. That is a masterclass in branding. So it's San Francisco Bay Area Stadium. It's Levi's in Santa Clara. So that is what you're looking at in group. Turkey is going home after the group stage. The U.S. wins the group. Find out who the 2 and the 3 are. So keep an eye on all of those. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I might have missed here. A couple of other notes. Telemundo's outdrawing Fox in the head-to-head. 3% of the total U.S. audience across the World Cup in the first 12, moving to Simon Evans, who is a must-follow on a bunch of different fronts. USA and Paraguay on Big FOX had 18 million viewers, Fox, O&E, and Tubi. But you take that match out, Telemundo has beaten Big FOX or FS1 head-to-head in 8 of the 13 matches, and include matches where you do not have Latin American that's involved. So, keep of you that want to watch things in a different way. I know I'm watching a lot more Telemundo. I just am. I'm a lot more Telemundo now. A couple of other things with the game that happened in Vancouver at BC Place, which you can. It is not tied to a sponsor. There were pictures that were taken outside one of the gates at BC Place, and Don Garber was seen with a couple of natives that are based in the Vancouver area. And so, obviously, notification that Don Garber said that Vancouver's future to remain there in British Columbia is tied to a new stadium deal. No surprise. But once again, Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim has been part of the proposal at Hastings Park, which was a horse racing facility, and they are now they've been discussing with First Nations that are in the area about redevelopment of that. First Nations has, I think, a proposal put forward about how they would redevelopment into the whole live, work, play thing that we talk about in lower divisions here. But right now, that's where it is. You have that group that is based in Louisville, the family, the family that is tied to, what do you call them? Storage facilities and lockers and such. In our family, the son of the family mother and father that started the industry, the heir apparent has said he wants to take Vancouver and move them to Vegas. So right now, that's where we are. Still, but once again, it is because of being dead last in revenue and revenue opportunities, even though the city and the province floated another $3 million, I believe, opportunities for Vancouver. It was seven figures to the left of decimal. I want to say it's $2.5 to $3 million when it comes to the revenue opportunities that are there for the Whitecaps. With Don Garber in Vancouver at BC Place, admitting that once again, things have to be new. Need a new barn. So we'll see where the provincial government comes in. We'll see where Vancouver, the city, comes in with Mayor Ken Sim, where First Nations come in, as Vancouver has been for half, and Axel Schuster has been trying to find a new person to take over, and from Steve Nash. A couple of other things. Green Bay has now joined the effort to join the USL on both the men's and women's side, and it proposed 15-acre downtown riverfront site with an interim being at UWGB and the state campus there. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay. After all of this, something that you can do. Tercer Tiempo Fest is starting in 8 minutes. So you need to leave your house now. You need to leave your house right now and go over to the Marriott Atlanta Northeast over by Emory. Free to attend. Jason's on King Puma, and that's chronicling Pele's Puma boot unveiling World Cup. And the moment, obviously, that changes soccer marketing. He buys his boots up. Hey, what's he doing? Oh, he's wearing Pumas. So King Puma is a part all day today and run all day today. And I'm that in the most positive way possible. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going on at Tercer Tiempo Fest. And if you on Intersection, Jason caught up with Felipe Tobar from Tercer Tiempo Fest and got the breakdown of what it's like and what it took for Tercer Tiempo to come to the United States, because this is the only place it is. It's 2 days. And after this, it is in Colombia and it is in Mexico in the month of July for like a week each place. 2 days here, and it starts in 6 minutes. So you got to go now, have us still on in the car, and make your way over to the Marriott Atlanta Northeast over by Emory. It's free to attend. You can watch films all day, and you can see Jason as a part of the panel discussions that are attached to the films that are there. But an Intersection, Jason caught up with Felipe Tobar and asked him about Tercer Tiempo Fest and how it came to be in this particular part of the planet.
We've never had one in Atlanta that I know of, definitely not on this kind of a scale. How did Atlanta become part of this conversation, and especially with DeKalb?
Yeah, so discovered DeKalb when I presented the initiative to plan to James, the CEO, James Sismanaskis. He's super progressive. He thinks out of the box, and he said, "Let's do it." How much? He literally asked how much is to make it. Won't be won't be too much for your budget. But he was super supportive. He understands that puts the cab into the world kind of spotlight. Really showcases what the cab can offer to international tourists, especially during these times. And We have been organizing this since last August. So it's quite a full year of organizing this event. And DCAB provide everything to the festival. We're doing this in the Marriott Hotel in Northeast Emory area, which has very nice amphitheater. And we are bringing lots of panelists, like even diplomats from like the Consul of Argentina. For Atlanta, we're bringing directors of the U.S. Soccer Federation, Atlanta's amputee soccer, coaches of the United States Soccer Federation as well. So these panelists wouldn't be here without the support of Discover DCAP, which is
So big shout out to Discover DeKalb for helping out. And so you have the sum total of still hovering in 56. It hasn't got to 57 yet. So you're a little bit more than 3 minutes before you have to pack up your entire existence and be over at the Marriott Atlanta Northeast over by Emory. Jason's going to be a part of the panel discussions over there. So if you want to be indoors today and just kind of a lot of cool film and be a part of panel discussions and film festivals and all that kind of stuff and get caught up on that, go to Tercer Tiempo Fest. Once on Instagram, and they'll give you all the details and things that you need to know. Once again, free to get in. Jason's a part of the panel discussions there this morning. And once again, everything from Pele to all the other things that are going on. But Jason's part of the panels, and you have you have a little bit more than 3 minutes to get over there and start their test before you get your games going in the afternoon and work your way forward from that. Atlanta Soccer tonight, just so you know, is tonight, 9 to 11, 9-9 the game, and it's an opportunity for you to get caught up on all the things. You get your knockout round projections, work them in pencil if you need, or if you're really confident, do it in pen. Everything is in focus, getting a little better for the MNT and for Mexico beyond. Break it all down tonight, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. It is 929 the game, 929thegame.com, the Odyssey app, 929 the game's YouTube channel as well, and it's all going to be archived later on. And so that is your day. You start your day with us. You go over to Tercer Tiempo Fest. You go home. You watch matches. Then you tune in to Atlanta Soccer tonight, 9 o'clock tonight, 929 the game, and the Odyssey app. All right, so it is getting close to the top of the hour. I'm going to see if I can almost filibuster here because I want to get us to 10 o'clock. And I want to say hi to everybody. And I'm really going to be blowing folks out of the Twitch pitch. They're trying to sit there and be stream boo. You're not my stream boo if you're trying to get bots to enjoy the experience here with us at SDH. I'm not your boo, and I'm not your stream boo. So we're going to blow you all out. So good morning, Michael Head. Morning, David. Morning, D. Graham. And D. Graham, once again, thank you for your conversion rates. Heck, don't have them this early in the morning. Morning, Nix. Good to see you, by the way. Morning, Ricky. Ricky, I'm glad you got your scarf. And let's see. I'm trying to anybody else that I missed that was in the opening run. So Nix and Michael and Nick's wondering about the praising or the Orlando for Alex Freeman. Yes, you do. He's no longer with them, so I think it's okay. I think you can go ahead and praise them. We did talk about the Miguel situation and what happened. Galarza, yay. Miggy, nay. And I know that a lot of you guys are also discussing with roster and what to keep an eye on when it comes to the movement and things. And there are rumors that are out there in the players. And well, once again, we'll see where it goes from here. You have seen a little bit of movement. You haven't seen a whole lot. There's been more talk than anything else. Has to do with Chicago. Apparently, and let me double check this. I want to double check it. because we all know how totally honest and up-to-date and journalistically sound Twitter is. So I want to check on one particular search. And then, like I said, the gossip, rumor, and innuendo, what to watch, where to watch it, and how to watch it, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so Fabrizio Romano, before we came on this morning, Messi and friends complete a deal to sign him as a midfielder, and it's a here we go. Parties involved and all formal steps resolved, now waiting to sign and announce. Casemiro wants to play with Messi, future in MLS. And so everyone is referencing Fabrizio Romano. And so everyone is going back to that particular reference point. Independently of Fabrizio Romano is mentioning Casemiro. But it's a here we go with Casemiro and Messi and friends. That is where it looks like the 34-year-old is going to be heading next, saying that, yes, he wants to play with Messi. Go. So you're looking at all of that going forward. And obviously, we'll keep an eye on it, and is attached to that. But right now, Fabrizio Romano gives you a here we go. Casemiro 2 as a new midfielder, and the sale of Benjamin Kromaski was probably some of the garbage that you needed to make this happen. So we'll see where they are on the garbage exchange and how much they have left. But it appears Casemiro might be heading to, is going to be heading to Messi and friends to be the new midfielder there. All right, it is after 10 o'clock. It's officially a hydration break. And there's only one place and one group of folks that are attached to our hydration breaks, and it's our folks here at Local Vine. Local Vine Beer and Liquor is one of two locations, is where I'm sitting this morning. I'm sitting up here at Cumberland. You can also go to the one in Johns Creek. Local Vine Beer, Wine, and Liquor stores, great friends here in 2026, and glad to have them as a part of the ride that we are piecing together this year. So if you would please everyone, since we are in a hydration break, for all of us to hydrate here very, very early on a Saturday morning. So I'm going to hydrate right now, and I'm not even going to mute off. There, I have probably hydrated at least to get us into the next segment. Once again, hydration breaks always brought just by our friends at Local Vine Beer, Wine, and Liquor stores, 2 locations, Cobb Parkway and over by Acres Mill and in Johns Creek. Once again, Local Vine Beer, Wine, and Liquor. Great partners with us here at SDH. Now, so we broke a record yesterday. You really had to have been hardcorest of the hardcore to be with us for the entire show. I'll post on social media all the guests that we had yesterday. You can listen in chopped up form. If you really just want to sit down and play 3 hours and 3 minutes of a show, you can't. Something else I learned about our podcaster and about our audio system is that you can't post anything in full after 3 hours of length. I think you can get to 259 over 3 hours, and you can't post the whole thing. It'll load it, but it won't post it. So you can listen to the first half of the show and the second half of the show. It takes a total of 3 hours and 3 minutes. But yesterday, if you missed the second half, in the final half hour of the show, Guadala-HOF-a, and for those of you that know what we all do on game days and things like that, part of the folks that we love to be a part of things with is our buddy Joe Freihofer, the in Atlanta Stadium host when it's not Atlanta Stadium, when it's Mercedes-Benz. The HOF is in Guadalajara. Stuff at the Estadio de Guadalajara for the tournament that is currently going on. And he got to see Mexico. He's been a part of all game day stuff. He's down there, I think, for another 8 days. So we hoped that technology would function well enough and that I had hit everything was happening to where we could catch up with the HOF from Guadalajara. Here is the end product of that for those of you that missed it. Here's our catching up with the HOF, how things are in Guadala-HOF-a with the World Cup. Here's our conversation once again from yesterday's SDH AM. Joe Freihofer in Mexico. We sit there and we hope that we have done the appropriate sacrifices. that we have appeased the gods of power and light and electric. We go to Guadala-HOF-a, Mexico. God, just let this happen. Hoff, how are you, my brother?
Yes. The wait is over. Nelly, how's it going, man?
Oh, my God. Questions more for you. You're the busiest man in show business in Guadala-HOF-a, as we call it now. It's not Guadala-HOF-a, it's Guadala-HOF-a.
He did it. It's official. Yeah. Let's see the stakes. We'll let the Mexican people decide. If you hear several horns out the window this morning, the streets are still celebrating, and I'm a little bit hoarse over here as well, but it was all worth it. And
look, low gear, brother. Low gear. That's what we're hunting for. So let's see. Your next match is when? When's your next match?
We have got Tuesday, the 23rd, I believe. That'll be Colombia against
DR Congo.
of
Yeah, you got DR Congo at 8 o'clock local time, 10 o'clock here in this particular part of the planet. What has it been like for you out there in Guadala-HOF-a doing all of the World Cup stuff, man? It's been great to see your stuff on socials. What's this been like for you?
Thank you, brother. No, it's been really fun, man. This is, first time being in Mexico for me. I've had a really cool upbringing of having all sorts of different Spanish-speaking cultures, from, a teacher in high school who's from the Dominican to a couple of Cuban professors, but never had any real Mexican cultural influence. And picking up the language in here has been so cool, man. From having nothing but a trillion tacos every single day to I don't even want to know my tortilla count right now, dog. It's probably ungodly. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful people too, man. They're so happy, so eager to just welcome you into the world too, which has been really cool. Been walking around the city, and I think that's been my favorite part of this World Cup too. I'm dying to hear how it's been down there in ATL as well, but just how loving people are right now. It's so cool seeing people on the metro in New York. Like, you see a dude in a Brazil jersey and a Moroccan fan right there, and they just like hug as if they've been brothers for their entire lives. Like, in what other setting besides the Knicks after 53 years or however long that was, are we going to get moments like this? This is the beautiful game, man. So it's been so fun.
No, it has been stacked and packed and racked over at Atlanta Stadium. And we've had, I think, close to 140,000 folks go in the door for the two matches so far. And it has been just bananas to see what we know about the sport and what it means. And I mean, you have 4 different cultures wandering in. You have all of the parties up there on the top level, on top of the red deck, and in between State Farm and Mercedes-Benz. It's been a fun watch. The Cabo Verdeans, they took over. They took over all the partying leading into the matchup against Spain. It was great there. And then yesterday, with all the chaos that was going on with Czechia and with South Africa, the Bafana, I ran into a father and a son from Birmingham who were there to see Bafana take everything going on. Look, there were Cabo Verdeans that came down from Massachusetts. And apparently there's over 100,000 Cabo Verdeans that are living in the state of Massachusetts. They came down. They were loud, brother. I mean, it was loud to see that one happen. And the fun thing was, and you and I know this, that when you've got some neutrals in a building, you're going to have fans of both sides. But then when you've got the neutrals and you have what Cabo Verde was doing, and they were staying with it and staying with it and staying with it, the crowd turned and they were rooting for the underdog. And it was a great vibe to see that stuff happen.
Just the underdog flip too. That was the other thing I wanted to ask you, man. What has been between what I've seen of FanFest and Kevin Egan out there too, the crowd for the Mexico match, for the USMNT, and then the Cabo Verde fans, it looked like, we had ATL PD officers like dancing with them pre-match too. Like, what do you think has stood out to you most from the scenes in ATL so far? Is there any one thing?
I mean, it's for me, it's the reinforcing of what we knew. Everybody's sitting there, and there's still the stereotypes. And I was going back and forth with you. We played the sound earlier in the show about the head coach for South Africa after the match busting Atlanta's chops about Mercedes-Benz not being a football stadium and all that kind of stuff. And I went on a 15-minute rant, and I apologize for that. But, dude, look, the South's got something to say. The world's got something to say. And the fact that it was in Atlanta where it was said, I hate to break it to the man, but I gave him a bless your heart, but I also welcomed him back. It's like, look, come back. We'll show you a vibe. We'll show you what this is. Come with us to the modern day where you're not out there in 40-degree weather in a long coat brought to you by some Burberry folks in London fog, and the wind's whipping it sideways and you can't see what's going on, and you're playing in a mud pit. You got 70,000 people that are just giving you all of the love that they can, and this guy wants to ish all over the Benz. I was not a happy man.
You know what I think I love most is you see there's social accounts, for example, like, ESPN Mexico, and it'll be a phone video, and the caption will just be like, this is the greatest stadium in this World Cup and possibly in world football. Seeing just all these external people finally get put on to what MBS has been for the club, for Atlanta, for world football for years now. I remember Club World Cup when I think Manchester City posted a video of Pep Guardiola, and he was like, homie's jaw was at his feet. And that's Pep Guardiola, like the greatest manager in the history of the game. So my hope, as much as I'm sure it is yours, is that they come back, right? It's like, hey, if you like the looks of the digs, hey, man, swing on by. Come on down to the Gulch. Come on by to Lot 17. See what we got going on the MLS side of things. And that's, I think, when you're going to see the great tilt, of the league just exploding. And it's what literally got me here to Mexico was 2014 and sitting on the couch and watching Clint Dempsey score in, 40 seconds against Ghana, in my top of my head hitting the ceiling from jumping off the couch. Like, you cannot make up the magic that's in the air when it's World Cup season. Right now, so far, inside of the lines, between these goals, between the Messi hat trick, between USMNT, I'm catching the zoomies now, you're going to have to ring me in here, 4-1 against Paraguay. And don't get me wrong, I was wearing a neutral outfit that day because Miguel Almiron was on the other side, and boy, was I pulling for them as well. But my goodness, it's been a star-studded start to this 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Dude, I'm not going to let you stop your zoomies. I mean, when you got a zoomie, I'm not going to stop you. Come on now. You know me better than that.
Let's go into it then. Big day today. 1 p.m. over your way. Was that first one against Paraguay? I mean, Gio Reyna coming on and he decides to just caress it with a little outside of the boot right there. Is it too good to be true, Nelly? I need you to bring me back to earth or tell me we're going to win it all, because I'm between those two spots and there's no in between.
Well, patience, Grasshopper. Patience. Let's take it day at a time, match at a time. Everything's fine in its own place. Let the Trivela live for what it was. Enjoy that particular moment with Gio Reyna. Enjoy the United States men's national team pressing Paraguay out of the building and trying to create the most difficult of surroundings for them in a home environment that was off the charts. It wasn't off the chain. It was off the entire bicycle. That's how mad it was at SoFi. And since FIFA ain't paying me to say the city name, I'm just going to call it by its name that the sponsor has. When you have as complete a performance as you saw from the United States, you move it forward. Look, it is game at a time. It is every cliche in the book that we try to avoid when you and I are asking questions. You go to today. It's Australia. I know there were some pundits here in the country that are sitting there running their mouths and going, oh, easy. Tranquilo.
As we say down here.
Game at a time. Calma. Everything's cool. Look, Australia is not – look, they got an upset in round number 1. I get it. They're on the plus side of the juice boxes. Game at a time. I know a lot of folks are looking at Christian Pulisic. And if he plays, cool. If he's not 100%, sit him. Or have him on the bench just to kind of sit there and act as that specter, like the vulture that's kind of hanging off to the side, and you're sitting there and you're in the desert and you're looking for that oasis and you see that vulture just kind of hanging off to the side, waiting for that moment. Just let it happen. Let it happen today. You win this one, you win group, then take care of it from there. Just step at a time. Calma, young Freihofer.
I
Everything's
think
fine.
for me, it was just the way that they would go at the game, like what you
Mhm.
said, the way that they just dominated, controlled circulation of the ball. Balagol just with his left boot. He's a righty, isn't he? Just curled it into where the spiders live up there. That one, I think for me, I celebrated the most. Reina was a little more audacious and flair, but that Balogun one was just different. So, yeah, I was looking at the numbers too. It looks like USMNT have not kept the clean sheet in 9, I think is what it
Mhm.
said, compared to Australia held up against, what was it, 30 shots that they faced and still kept the
Yeah.
clean sheet. So that's been a big thing too, is can that back line tighten down a little bit more? I mean, you only conceded 1 against Paraguay, but further you go along, these attacks are only going to get more and more disgusting. So
Mhm.
I'm in it, man. I'm in it, believing it. Pochettino fever, take me. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yes. I mean, now with you down there, what is an average match day like for you, since you are the man with the plan, one of 2 hosts down there at the Estadio de Guadala-HOF-a? What is a match day in Guadala-HOF-a city for you?
Yeah, man. We have an amazing team down here. It's a super big mix of people from all over the world, which is really cool. So we've got a director from Peru. We've got one of our main show directors who also does some work in MLS with LA Galaxy. We've got a PA announcer from El Salvador. We've got another one from Chicago Fire. My co-host, big shout out to DZ. He is working with the Milwaukee Bucks and also does some local radio there in Wisconsin. And he was born in Colombia as well. So we've got a really cool mix of just lots of different voices, flavor, cultural upbringing. So we usually get up here at the hotel. We've got breakfast here right where we stay, kind of in the heart of Guadalajara. It's a really cool area. So we'll get up, have a meal about 8. We'll take an Uber over to Estadio Guadalajara, and we'll walk in. This thing, Nelly, is crazy looking. It's built like a volcano. It's coated in grass, which I need to do some Big J journalism here to find out how they trim the grass, because the angle, I'm talking like this.
Mhm.
So they pay a guy a lot of money to push him over all the way up and then somehow not fall on the way down. I'm thinking maybe it's one of those, like, I don't know what you call it, the old school, just massive razors, and it swings around. Yeah, or maybe there's a Roomba.
Oh, weed whacker. A weed whacker.
Yeah, that could be it too. We head in there about 9:30, and it'll be a lot of production meetings talking over what we'd like to do to really just cater to this crowd too. It's been, despite the opponents, very heavy Mexican too. Really cool fun fact is the wave, they like to say, was born here in Guadalajara, Mexico. So they call it La Ola Mexicana, which, yep, I had not heard that till I came down here too. So on FIFA.com, they say La Ola Mexicana was born here in the 86 World Cup. So that's been present for all the matches. Cannot confirm or deny the true sourcing there on that one, but no, been so cool, man. The crowds for both Korea and Czechia were amazing. And then last night, man, I have never lived anything like that at the international level in terms of just Mexico in their own country with a chance to be top of their group, from the anthem to the Canta y no llores. I've got plenty of videos I'll show you after this. I'm quite literally fresh out of bed, as you guys can tell too. So it's been an awesome adventure.
Okay, so I was doing some research. The wave has its history, couple of different versions, depending on your storyline. November 15, 1979, at a hockey game in Denver, Colorado.
Look at that.
No, October 15, 1981, at a Major League Baseball game in Oakland. But the one that I know, Halloween 1981, Washington football against Stanford at Husky Stadium. That's the one that I knew.
Yep.
So I would go back to, that's why I was kind of going, so then what we'll do is we'll stipulate this.
Yep.
The first ever soccer match wave.
Here we go.
I will stipulate to your findings, Professor Freihofer. But when it comes to the matchup of the wave itself, I will go back to 1981 and Halloween night at Husky Stadium for a Pac-12 game with Washington and Stanford. That's the one that I knew. So that's where my information is.
Yeah, I did think it was something American too. Like growing up, no matter what sport you go to, you're like, oh, here comes a wave. Like that is our thing, you know. So when I got here, I was like, wow. I guess they do
Yes.
call it the La Ola Mexicana, so the Mexican wave. So I'm not sure if there's different categories for it, but either way, the Guadalajara's blowing me out of the water. That's for sure.
So there's a song that is called the Mexican Wave. A song by the Irish metal band Curb Dog, and a single released on 17 March of 1997. Taken from their second album, On the Turn, recorded in 1995 at Sound City Studios in Los Angeles. So
Sure.
Mexican Wave, CD number one of the 3 CDs apparently that was released by this group that I've never heard of before, Curb Dog, Kerbdog. Mexican Wave. So it's an Irish metal band song, Mexican Wave. But I will stipulate to your version of it being in the beautiful game. How long have you been down there?
That is such a good question. You know what? All these days are starting to blur together so much too that I had to start. I'm not even kidding, brother. I started a note on here to simply write down what I've been doing every day because it's starting to like merge into just a mirage. So I got down here. Let me take a look at the calendar because I couldn't even tell you. It was June 4th was my last day in Atlanta. So it's been a bit. We are here until the 27th. So we've got another good stretch. We'll be off this weekend. So I don't know if you saw any of the videos. I think I saw you talking with El Señor Torres right there about just the Colombian fan presence too. And people in plazas starting to just get together and celebrate. Last night, I don't know how, dog, that's how tired I was because out my window every 4 seconds was bang, 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 Mexico, bang, bang, bang. Cars driving by, buses full of people. It's just unbelievable what this does to the streets of any country. So today the plan is after this, we'll do a little bit of work and then we're going to grab the Osmo again. And I'm trying to make it. It hasn't been technically daily, but I'm working on a little segment called Diari Joe. So instead of the daily, it's just the Daily Joe, where we run around here in Guadalajara and find magical stories. There was a kid last night that says, and if yes, y si sí, which has been a big phrase for Mexican fans of just like, what if it does happen? What if we can do it? What if we can go all the way? So there was that. There was a lovely Korean couple who was celebrating their honeymoon last night here in Guadalajara, traveling to all of the Korea Republic matches, and they got on TV as well. So that's the stuff that I think I love as much as the results that happen on the field is the human side of it. Just the merging of cultures, all the different backstories. I think there's that. You're gonna have to check me again on this, but Sonder, maybe it's a word that kind of stands for, you know, everybody has such a complex life all around you, and there's thousands of complexities that you brush past every single day, and you don't even realize. So when we can share a bit of commonality in this beautiful game too, man, there's nothing like it.
So you're going to be down there another 8 days?
Sounds right.
Stage? Okay, 27th. So then you get to probably come home and collapse, I would imagine. Yeah.
It'll be, falling down face first, just probably right there, just past the front door, drop the bag. I don't even know if I'll unpack it for a couple of days. We'll see. And then we'll be moving. We got some exciting stuff coming down the pipe in terms of content for Atlanta United on the club side too. We got a big turn, of course, hopping right back into the MLS season with some really exciting stuff coming up. I can't say too much right now, but let's just say we will be on the move, still getting back at it and telling some really exciting stories. So stay tuned.
Absolutely. It's great to see you, my friend. I am insanely proud of you and what you are doing, and down there adding to this on the CV. If we can swing it, meaning if you can swing it, because I sit here, you're the one who's busy. Can we catch up with you before you leave?
Yes, please. I should have 2 off days next week. I'll get you on the dates for those 2. And before I go, I'd be remiss if I didn't say shout out to the SDH Network. Now, the stuff that you, Jason, Maddie, Nick, Jarrett, everybody, you guys have been leaving it out there for years now. It's really cool to see this start to take off, to see the repercussions, the storytelling, the unique perspective that you guys have. It makes me think of Leagues Cup when Cooper Sanchez hit the scene and you guys were there, because you've been with the youngsters from the beginning. There's nobody who puts in more work and uniquely Atlanta and uniquely for the world too. So I appreciate you. Thanks for being such a good partner, a good reference for me as we go. I miss Atlanta like crazy. Threw this up here as I fell out of bed before coming on, because believe it or not, being down here too, I've missed Atlanta a ton. Seeing the scenes, seeing other people react to Mercedes-Benz Stadium too during a competition like this. Man, have we got it good, brother! And I cannot wait to be back with you.
Yep. And let me know if you can do some shopping for me on a match day, and let me know how much I need to Venmo you.
I got a little bag back here, Don. Drop the bag, so I got you.
Okay. All right.
No way. That's the school of Nelly.
Yes. So it's 10 of 10. So get the heck out of there and go get breakfast or go back to bed and collapse.
Let's do it.
That's the HOF. The HOF is in Guadala-HOF-a for a week. And so for those of you that missed it yesterday, that's why I was able to play that today. All right. Before we get out of here, it is gossip, rumor, and innuendo. What to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. I mean, that's the easy part. Because, what to watch, it's going to be in one location. And you're going to be watching it in one of three separate places. So we'll get into that and let you know what's going on. Okay. The gun in the innuendo side of what was going on with the apparent, and I'm going to say apparent, Casemiro transaction in Messi and friend. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And then with the other news, as I sit here and I try to fish for that particular header, I guess the big question is, do they have it up and running already for today? And we will certainly, let's see, Haiti, we've got the elimination, we got all that. Sights and sounds. No. That's okay. Here we go. It does exist. We do have transfer rumors and such. Manchester City advancing in negotiations with Forest to St. Anderson, according to Florian Berg at Sky Germany. Is in the U.S. playing in the World Cup, hasn't stopped. 2 Premier League progress post deal. Sources 4 letters Rob Dawson. City made an offer worth a total of more than £120 million. Remember, 121 euro was a number that being put out there by Evangelikis because he's the one who is doing the negotiating right now on the deal, to the apparent surprise of the administration. 115 was out there, so now we're looking at £120. 115.5 euro was put out there at some point. Manchester had to make a comparable offer. So City, it looks like they are number 1 right now. Atletico de Madrid closing in on a full agreement with PSG midfielder Lee Kang-in over personal terms, according to Fabrizio Romano. Priority target for Atletico this summer. Well underway are talks, and Lee, who has struggled for regular game time at PSG since joining in 2023 from under contract through June 28, Matteo Moretti reports there is a verbal in place between Atleti and Alejandro transfer from Bayer Leverkusen, now inching closer. Spurs considering a move for Palace midfielder Adam Wharton after encountering difficulties in their according to Team Talk. England international emerged as an alternative midfield target for Spurs, who are keen to strengthen the center of the pitch this summer. Sky, it was mentioning center back keen on a move to take over for the Jan-Paul van Hecke move, the Vuskovic, Borussia fielder Julian Brandt, according to the Yorkshire Evening Post, set to become a free, reportedly advertising, recruiting a quality midfielder. Southampton's Shea Charles also on the short list. Other rumors: Albert list formerly agreed to between the clubs. It is Everton Spurs once again to hijack Ipswich Town's pursuit of Levante star Carl Etta-Eong. He's a €30 million asked to England. That's Team Talk. 4-letter paper. Leeds United retain an interest in soon-to-be free agent Harry Wilson. Everton and Villa have made approaches to the Fulham midfielder. West Ham have added to their list of transfer targets. Sky, Ipswich Town advanced negotiations to appoint Strasbourg boss Gary O'Neill as their new head coach. Tottenham Wanderers rival Venezia for Che Adams' signature this summer, who's likely to leave Torino. Foot Mercato, Ajax have stepped up their pursuit days with a transfer fee for the player now agreed to. Fulham have had a 17 million pound bid for Nigerian defender Chibuike and Wild, and Celtic prepared to consider offers for midfielder Arne Engels this summer, despite turning down several big money approaches for the player in January at Fall Insider. Now, what to watch, where to watch it, brought to us by our friends at Fanatis. FNTZ.co is important. Helps us, helps you, helps them, and it gets you more of the streaming services and more more matches in South America. A and B divisions are available through our friends at Fanatis. You get all the BNs, and I mean by all the BNs. You get Middle East, North Africa, you get the European matches, you get Libertadores, you get Sudamericana, and you get everything involving, you get CAF, you get Champions League, you get African qualifiers. They had the U17s a couple weeks ago. You get all the BNs. You get for their World Cup coverage loan this time of year. You get TVV out of Venezuela if you want it. It's an add-on, but if you have a local cable, then if you have the Hispanic package, then you can already have access to it there. Liga 1, Liga 1 Max Pro out of Peru. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I might have missed, but that's a good start. Get all your activity at Fanatis, Evan, soccer down here. So, CBS Sports Network, late night tonight, USL Championship, Vegas and Orange County. I think that one's at ESPN2. Prinks. I don't know what a Prinks is. They say it's a tire. I've yet to see a Prinks. Sounds like something you'd see in a zoo. Detroit and Louisville, 5 o'clock. World Cup on Big FX, the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock. Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Cote d'Ivoire. The World Cup at noon. Tunisia, Japan, noon and 8. So Tunisia, Japan at noon. Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, and Curacao, all 4. Tunisia, Japan, noon on Universo, and Ecuador and Curacao is at 8. Golasso, USL League 1 tonight, Ford Madison, and the New York Cosmos. That's today. Plus, you have 8 matches in UL Championship. You've got 3 at 7 o'clock, Jacksonville, Charleston, Hartford, Pittsburgh, Brooklyn, and Tampa Bay. 8 o'clock, Birmingham, Colorado Springs at 8:30, Monterey Bay and El Paso at 10, Phoenix and Oakland at 10:30, Sacramento and New Mexico United at 11 o'clock. League 1, 6 matches on the plus as well. Triumph and AV Alta is at 7. Richmond and Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne unbeaten in their last 9. Traveling to Richmond to take on the Kickers. Chattanooga at 7 o'clock. Corpus Christi and Sarasota is at 8:30. Spokane, Knoxville at 9. Boise and Omaha at 9:30. Fox ONE has your 4 matches today in the World Cup. Once again, has the USL Championship match at 10:30. USL League 1 match, Ford Madison and New York Cosmos. That is at 8. So that is to get your day started. I wanted to check the juice boxes one more time before we get out of here, just so we know what we're staring at and see if anything has shifted. No, it's late night. It's midnight. It's not noon. It's midnight Eastern time. Is that right? Tunisia and Japan. That's at midnight tonight. Is that possible? Hang on. I got to check this. I'm somewhat confused and maybe a little disoriented, but that's nothing. I was wondering where the 4th match was today. And it might be because it's being looked at okay, so matches. All right, so matches today. Yep, son of a gun. Late night in Monterey tonight. Okay, so that's wondering where that was. Okay, so Netherlands and Sweden, 1 o'clock. Not really changed a whole lot. Netherlands numbers have increased a bit to a minus 141. Draws a plus 309. Sweden is a plus 380. And Ivory Coast from Toronto. At BMO, Germany's a minus 200. Draws a plus 5. Ivory Coast is a plus 550. At 8 o'clock tonight, Ecuador and Curacao at Arrowhead. Or 14. Draws a plus 825. Curacao. Late night, and this is late night. This is true sicko material here. Late night Monterey. Late night kick tonight. 10 o'clock in Monterey. I think it's 10 o'clock at 9 o'clock in Monterey. Well, we'll check the time changes. But midnight Eastern kick. Group F, Monterrey Stadium, Tunisia and Japan. Tunisia is a plus 550, draws a plus 309, and is a minus 182. So, all right, so where is Monterrey, Mexico? And I got to find out how many hours behind they are. Are they 2 or are they 3 from the Eastern time zone? Because that is a midnight kick. Man, midnight kick. All right, so we're going to the Wikipedias, and we're trying to see where it is in the time zone. So what this? Instead of look Monterrey in the Wikipedias, why don't we say Monterrey time zone? Why don't we do that before we find out how late we're going to be staying up tonight? Time zone. All right, so Monterrey, Mexico time zone. I do that. It is, okay, so they're 2 hours. So much like Guadala-HOF-a, Monterrey is 2 hours behind. So it's 10 o'clock local time, midnight Eastern, Tunisia and Japan. That's for the hardcores. You got sickos and you got hardcores. You might be both. Midnight Eastern, 10 o'clock local time, Tunisia and Japan's late night at a minus 182. A plus 309. Tunisia is a plus 550. That's the fourth match today. So that's where that came from. So it's midnight for your fourth match with the sickos. All right. That is it for today from local Vine, Wine, and Liquor. And we can't thank them enough for being great partners with us here at SDH. It is SDH are going to be doing every single during the World Cup tournament. Back at it again tomorrow, and with a noon kick at Atlanta Stadium with 8 o'clock in the morning kick. We're going to go to about 9:30, and then we're going to race into the stadium, having to do with Spain and Saudi Arabia. What does Spain do in match day 2? They need a win. They need it big, considering the draw that they got against Cabo Verde, day number 1. So Atlanta Soccer tonight, 9 to 11, 92.9 the game in the Odyssey app. And also 929thegame.com and your favorite podcatchers after. Jason will have that for you, Atlanta Soccer Talk tonight. Enjoy the game today. He's going to have a game that's going to go on and kick after he's off the air. That's how long this day is going to be, but that's how great. Put it all over again tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, SDH AM Sunday edition, and we'll find out what happened today, and we'll wake up to the news of what happened in Tunisia. You want to appear in here real quick? See, there's Scott. So he's here. So Scott's here. And since Scott has now said his hellos, we're going to go say our goodbyes. Big play it safe. We want you to enjoy your day. Pace yourselves, people. We're still early in the tournament. For everybody here at SDH, everybody here at local Vine, Beer, Wine, and Liquor stores, hopefully you get breaks today. Mucha plati. Play it safe. And since it is the end of the show, that means we get to do this. We'll see you in a bit.